who heard it. The legend of Krampus was ancient, passed down through generations. A cautionary tale told in hushed tones by the fire as the snow fell silently outside. It was a story that parents used to keep their children in line, a tale that echoed through the ages. Krampus, they said, was the shadow of Sankt Nikolaus. He punished the wicked, a dark counterpart to the jolly gift-giver. While Sankt Nikolaus rewarded the good, Krampus dealt with those who strayed from the path of righteousness, those who dared to misbehave, who thought they could escape the watchful eyes of the winter spirits. His appearance was the stuff of nightmares, a figure that haunted the dreams of the young and old alike. Horns curled from his head, twisted and gnarled, like the branches of an ancient cursed tree, a twisted mockery of a goat, a creature born from the darkest corners of folklore. His tongue, long and pointed, licked across his jagged teeth, a sight that sent shivers down the spine of anyone who saw it. He carried chains and bells, instruments of torment that clanged and jangled with every step he took. Their clangor a harbinger of fear, a sound that signalled his approach and sent villagers scurrying to their homes. Some said he dragged the wicked to the underworld, a place of eternal torment and darkness. Others, that he devoured them whole, swallowing their souls in one terrifying gulp. No one knew for sure what fate awaited those who crossed his path, but everyone feared his wrath, the mere mention of his name enough to send chills down the spine. The legend of Krampus was more than a story. It was a warning, a reminder that darkness lurked even in the most joyous of seasons, waiting to punish those who forgot to be good. Thomas was different, a boy on the cusp of manhood. He scoffed at the tales. Krampus was just a story, a way to frighten children. He refused to believe in such superstitions. Thomas was known for his rebellious streak. He craved adventure. He longed to prove his bravery. And what better way than to confront the myth of Krampus? "It's all nonsense," he'd declare, his voice echoing in the hushed tavern. The villagers would shake their heads, fear and pity in their eyes. But Thomas remained undeterred. He was determined to prove them wrong. Krampusnacht Eve arrived. The wind howled like a banshee. Snow lashed against the windows, but Thomas wouldn't be deterred. He snuck out of his house into the teeth of the storm. The village was deserted. Windows were dark. The only sound was the wind whistling through the narrow alleys. A shiver ran down Thomas's spine, but he pushed on, determined to face his fear. The air grew colder. The shadows seemed to twist and writhe. Thomas could have sworn he heard the distant clang of chains, but still he pressed on, deeper into the heart of the storm, into the jaws of the unknown. Section 5. The forest's unearthly embrace. The forest loomed ahead, dark and forbidding. The wind moaned through the trees like a chorus of lost souls. Thomas hesitated for a moment, a flicker of doubt, but then he pushed on. He ventured deeper into the woods. The trees closed in around him. Their branches, like skeletal arms, reached out to him. The air grew heavy, filled with an unnatural stillness. The silence was broken only by the crunch of snow under his feet. Each step seemed to echo, amplified in the stillness. Thomas felt a chill, and it wasn't just the cold, he was being watched. He looked back at his captor. His eyes pleaded for mercy, but the Krampus showed none. It simply pointed towards the darkness. Section 9. The Reckoning. Thomas crawled into the cave. The air grew colder, the darkness thicker. He could hear the faint sound of whimpering, and then he saw them, other children, trapped in cages. Their eyes were wide with terror, their faces streaked with tears. They reached out to Thomas, their fingers grasping at nothing. He had stumbled into the Krampus's lair, a prison for the wicked. The Krampus let out a deafening roar. The cave shook. Rocks tumbled from the ceiling. Thomas cowered in fear. He was trapped, with no hope of escape. He closed his eyes and waited for the end. Section 10. Krampusnacht's enduring grip. Morning came. The storm had passed, leaving behind a serene yet eerie calm. The village of Sankt Nikolaus awoke to a blanket of fresh snow, pristine and untouched. But something was different. A hush had fallen over the village, an unnatural silence that seemed to echo through the snow-laden streets. A sense of dread permeated the air. Thomas was gone, his footprints leading ominously into the forest, vanished without a trace. The villagers whispered amongst themselves, their voices hushed and filled with fear. Their faces pale and drawn. They knew what had happened, the unspoken truth hanging heavy in the air. The Krampus had claimed another victim. Its dark presence felt even in the daylight. Life went on, but the memory of Thomas lingered like a shadow over the village, a cautionary tale, a reminder of the darkness that lurked beneath the surface of their everyday lives. Krampusnacht was over, but the fear remained, etched into the very soul of the village, etched into the very heart of the village, a chilling reminder of the night the Krampus came. A night that would never be forgotten, a night that left an indelible mark on Sankt Nikolaus. The villagers knew that the legend of Krampus was not just a story, but a living, breathing fear that could strike again. And so they lived with caution, always aware, always vigilant, never forgetting the night the Krampus came.